Welcome to the Astral Projection Podcast, brought to you by Ali Wiley. Hello and welcome to the Astral Projection Podcast. Today I'd like to talk about how to go into the astral from a lucid dream, which is something that I do quite often. Many of my astral experiences have their beginning in a lucid dream. And in my opinion, it's the easiest way to get into the astral, as the process is not so shocking. By this, I mean that you don't experience a vibrational state. I've only experienced the vibrations just once because I asked to. I was curious as to what they were like. When I leave my body from the mind awake, body asleep state, I generally only feel a slight tingling sensation. So if the vibrations do disturb you, then going into the astral from a lucid dream may be the best technique for you. And also there are other reasons why it's a good idea, because you don't lose any sleep while you're trying to astral project or leave your body. When I started my inner journey, I started off with lucid dreaming. I spent every night practicing lucid dreaming techniques whenever I woke up. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I kept trying. And in the end, it was a lucid dreaming technique which led me to my first out-of-body experience. The technique I was using is also an OBE technique, so what happened wasn't really surprising. I was actually trying to keep my mind awake while I fell asleep so I could go straight into a lucid dream. However, instead, I found myself floating above my body. Such a wonderful sensation. Like you never forget the first time. There is really nothing like the feeling of letting your body go to sleep while your mind stays awake during the whole process. It is amazing. But it's not always easy, and sometimes it can interfere with your sleep if you try too hard for too long. I know someone who used to take 3 hours of practicing before having an experience, and it didn't always happen. Now, spending all this time is really not practical for many people, as reducing sleep time may not be very healthy. So this is why going into the astral from a lucid dream is a valuable technique. The key is to program yourself to wake up in a dream, and this can take some time. So you have to be dedicated and consistent in your practice. In the end, repetition is how we learn how to do things. It's how we remember things. It's how things become automatic. So we do have to be consistent, or the programming will not happen. One technique you can use is at regular intervals during the day, ask yourself if you are dreaming. The answer will be no. But if you do it often enough, you will end up also asking yourself the same question in your dream, and the answer will be yes, and you will become aware. Or you can look at your hands and ask yourself if you are dreaming. Again, if you do this often enough during the day, you will eventually do it in your dreams too. You may have dream signs. Things that tend to wake me up in a dream are windows that are high up. Windows and doors in dreams are often a way through to the astral, if that is your intent. Being high up is also another sign that wakes me up, as I love flying in dreams and in the astral. It gives me such a feeling of freedom, and it is that feeling I get when I find myself high up in a dream. I want to fly off the cliff or the building, etc., and I realise that I can because I'm dreaming, and I instantly become aware. Another sign that my dreaming mind uses to wake me up is not being able to remember how I got somewhere. I ask myself, how did I get here? And when I can't remember, I instantly become aware. In other podcast episodes, I've also mentioned how being in a dangerous situation often makes me lucid, as I realise that I can't be hurt, as it is a dream. And with this thought, I become aware. Once you're lucid in a dream, you simply have to set the intention to go into the astral. I usually fly up in the air very fast. Sometimes there's a window to fly through, or some sort of portal. Sometimes the dream just disappears. You have to know that you're going into the astral. Intend and know. There must be no doubt. The great thing about this technique to astral project is that you won't lose any sleep while trying. You just have to sleep and dream. Of course, as I said earlier, there's nothing like the experience of actually stepping out of your physical body. But at the same time, sleep is important for our health, so this method does in fact save your sleep hours. And in the end, every dream that you have is a possibility to have a lucid dream. So you get lots of chances during the night. You can keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. And it's this consistency that works. I had an interesting experience a few days ago. Into the Astral from a lucid dream. I was in a dream and I came to a house. However, I didn't remember at all how I got there or even where I was. This immediately woke me up in the dream. I started floating and the dream just dissolved and I realised I was in the Astral. I felt like I wanted to fly. I wanted to fly through forests, over mountains and sea. And given the situation the world is in at the moment, these moments of total freedom are so therapeutic. However, wherever I flew, there were buildings and towns and built-up areas. And this went on for a long time. I met a couple of guys who were also out of body, but I don't remember what we spoke about. I then decided I needed to speak to someone spiritual. I wanted some answers about the present situation on the earth. I asked someone where the spiritual people were. A lady pointed down a road and I looked down it. I said, "I'll recognise a place when I see it." She then told me to be careful, as it was no longer a case of two-way division between light and dark, between the spiritual and the darkness. She said that the spiritual were also divided. Then I woke up. Interesting about the spiritual being divided. We are experiencing a lot of division lately in our world, and it is very sad. However, whatever happens, it is important to stay centred, calm, and not to give in to fear. Thanks for being here with me today. Happy travels, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.